Hi friends, this lesson is lesson 23, and here we're creating equivalent fractions using number lines. So you can see at the top here we've got two number lines with two holes on each one. So we've got to follow the directions and create some fractions here. Okay, so it says on the first number line above, divide each hole into 4 unit fractions and label each one. Use a fraction strip to help you estimate if necessary. So those are those colored strips that we practiced on earlier, or like that we made right at the beginning of this unit. Okay, so if I'm talking about 4 unit fractions, that means I need 4 sections in each hole. So there's 1, and here's 2. Label each one. So that's 0. This is 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, 8/4. And let's go ahead and label the 0/4 too. Okay. On the second number line, use a pencil to divide each hole into 8 unit fractions and label each one. Refold your fraction strip from number 1 to help you estimate. So, in other words, use this fraction strip or this number line to help you with this one. So if I need 8 unit fractions, I can use my fourths above here as my starting points. Okay? I'm going to break each one of those in half to get my 8s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, I have to label each one now. So this will be 0/8, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8. A lot of numbers here. 6/8, 7/8. This is 8/8. Make sure when you get to 1, the numerator and denominator are the same. You might have skipped a number somewhere. Okay, I go back up here to my 4/4. Those match, so I know I'm in the right place. So then this becomes 9/8, 10/8, 11/8, 12/8, 13/8, 14/8, and 15/8, 16/8. Okay, a lot of 8s. Number 3, list the fractions that name the same place on the number line. Okay, so we know where the 8s don't have a matching 4th, they don't match up, right? So we can use the 4th as our starting point and see if there's a match on the 8s. That way we'll get them all. So is there a match at 0? You bet. So we're going to show that 0/4 equals 0/8, and then put a comma. And then we're going to go to the next one. 1/4, well, that lines up exactly with 2/8. So we're going to say 1/4 equals 2/8, comma. What's our next fourth? 2/4 has a match right underneath that at 4/8. So 2/4 equals 4/8, comma. Go to 3/4. That has a match at 6/8. So I'm going to write 3/4 equals 6/8, comma. 4/4 is equal to 8/8. They match up exactly. 5/4 lines up with 10/8, comma. Go to 6/4, that's the same as 12/8, comma. 7/4 are 14/8, comma. We have one last one at 8/4 equals 16/8. It's a lot that match up. Okay, the key to making this work is by using your 4th to figure out a starting point for your eighths. So remember, we did we followed where 1/4 was and made a tick mark right under there, and we broke all those in half to get our eighths. That's why they line up. If you aren't careful about doing it that way, they won't line up and you won't be able to see how these are all equal. Okay, using your number lines to help, find two fractions that would be equal to 3/2. Ooh, okay. So I'm going to get a different colored pen here, a red one. So if I'm looking here and I'm imagining these lines are not there, halfway would be right here, right? And then halfway would be here again. So where would 3/2 be? This is 1/2, 2/2, 3/2. So this is 3/2. So what did it say? Two fractions. Okay, well, that is the same as 6/4 and 12/8. So I found my two fractions. So down here I'm going to write 6/4 and 12/8. Those are equal to 3/2. Ooh, that was complicated. All right, number 5. Write the fraction that shows where each dot is on the number line. Divide each section of the number line in 2. What new fraction does the dot represent? So there's a couple things we have to do here. First of all, we need to figure out what are our sections. What's our denominator? So we've got 1, 2, 3. So we're talking about thirds. Okay, so from here to here, that's 1/3. So this point right here is 1/3. Now I have to divide each section in half. So now how many sections do I have? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections. And how many are at this dot? 1, 2. So we say 1/3 is equal to 2/6. That's essentially what we did with those two number lines in number 1. Okay, let's do the next one. Here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. So I'm talking about fourths. And my dot is at the 1, 2. It's at the second one. So we're at 2/4. So if I break each of these in half, now I've doubled my sections, right? So double 4 is 8, just like double 3 is 6. So now 1, 2, 3, 4. I can double that top number also to get an equivalent fraction. Next one, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sections again, but my dot is at the first one, 1/4. So let's cut those all in half. Got 8 sections now, and this dot is at the second one. So 1/4 is equal to 2/8. And the last one, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 fifths. 5 sections, and I'm at the last one, 5/5, which is equal to 1. So if I break each of these in half, I've now doubled my number, doubled my sections to 10, and I'm at the 10th. So 5/5 is equal to 10/10. They're both equal to one whole thing. And that is lesson 23. It's a little complicated, so take your time, especially on the homework when you're doing this kind of thing that we did at the beginning, because there's a lot of places where it's going to be confusing. Use your fraction strips that you have in your binder or that template to kind of help you to see what matches up. Good luck.